Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Williams, a pediatric specialist passionate about guiding parents through their child's physical, mental, and emotional growth journey. It often begins with small moments: a teacher's note home, a phone call from school, or a quiet concern during homework time. A parent watches their child struggle to stay seated, to focus, to complete even simple tasks that once came easily. Their energy seems endless, their emotions unpredictable, and yet behind the restlessness, there's something deeply beautiful: a curious, creative, and sensitive mind trying to find its rhythm in a noisy world. This is the reality for millions of families navigating life with a child who has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. And while medication has its place, many parents are searching for natural, holistic ways to help their children thrive. Remedies that bring calm, focus, and balance without dulling their spirit. The truth is, ADHD isn't a flaw or a failure. It's a different way the brain organizes and responds to information. These children are often imaginative thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators in disguise. Their brains are wired to notice more, feel more, and react more. But without proper support, that heightened sensitivity can quickly turn into overwhelm. The goal of natural approaches isn't to fix them, but to create harmony between their energy and their environment, to help their unique strength shine through. Science has revealed that ADHD is closely linked to how neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine function in the brain. These chemicals control attention, motivation, and emotional regulation. When levels fluctuate or signals misfire, focus becomes fleeting and impulses harder to manage. This is why lifestyle changes, nutrition, and emotional support can make such a profound difference. They help regulate the same system's medication targets, but in a more gradual, nurturing way. For many children, small daily adjustments can lead to remarkable changes. A well balanced diet, consistent sleep, and structured physical activity all support the brain's chemistry. Certain foods enhance dopamine production naturally, while others, like artificial additives and excess sugar, can trigger hyperactivity and mood swings. Parents who've made these changes often describe the results as lifting a fog. Their child becomes calmer, more focused, more themselves. It's not about restriction, it's about restoration. Equally important is how a child experiences their surroundings. ADHD thrives in chaos: noisy rooms, unpredictable routines, overstimulating screens. But it also responds beautifully to rhythm, pattern, and connection. When children know what to expect, when they feel safe and understood, their nervous systems begin to relax. This calm allows focus to emerge naturally, without force. In recent years, doctors and researchers have begun exploring how natural interventions, from omega-3 fatty acids to mindfulness techniques, can complement traditional treatments. While no single approach works for every child, combining evidence-based strategies with compassion creates powerful results. Parents who learn to meet their child's needs through understanding rather than correction often witness transformations that go beyond attention span. They see happier, more confident children who finally feel seen and supported. Every child with ADHD carries a story waiting to unfold, and sometimes all it takes is the right balance of nutrients, environment, and emotional support to help that story shine. The path isn't about control, it's about connection, connecting body to mind, child to parent, and energy to purpose. Among the many natural approaches that help children with ADHD, nutrition stands at the very center. The foods a child eats can either calm their nervous system or stir it into chaos, shaping how their brain manages focus, emotion, and self control. One of the most powerful nutritional allies for these children is omega-3 fatty acids, the same essential fats that build the brain's structure and regulate mood. Studies show that children with ADHD often have lower levels of these fats, especially DHA, which plays a critical role in communication between brain cells. By improving the balance of omega 3s, parents can help their child's brain function more smoothly, improving attention, emotional control, and even sleep quality. Omega 3s are found in abundance in fish such as salmon, tuna, sardines, and mackerel. For families that avoid seafood, plant based options like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts can also provide these essential nutrients, though marine sources tend to be more potent. Adding just a few servings each week or supplementing under medical guidance can make a visible difference. Parents often describe subtle but powerful shifts. Their child sits longer at the dinner table, listens a little more attentively, reacts with more patience, and expresses emotions with more clarity. These are signs that the brain is beginning to find its rhythm. Yet nutrition isn't just about one ingredient, it's about balance. While omega 3s support cognitive clarity, removing inflammatory foods can further enhance focus. Processed snacks, artificial dyes, and high sugar foods often spike energy and then cause dramatic crashes, mimicking hyperactive or inattentive behavior. When the diet becomes cleaner and richer in whole foods, the child's body stops reacting to chemical stressors and starts using energy more efficiently. The brain, freed from the fog of excess sugar and additives, begins to respond more predictably. Parents sometimes notice their children's mornings becoming calmer, homework time less frustrating, and outbursts shorter and easier to soothe. Hydration is another quiet hero in this process. A dehydrated brain struggles with memory, attention, and impulse control, yet children often forget to drink enough water. Encouraging hydration through flavored water, smoothies, or hydrating fruits like oranges and cucumbers helps maintain consistent energy levels. Each small effort contributes to a larger outcome, a calmer, clearer, more focused child whose body and brain are in sync. Beyond food, the timing of meals plays a surprisingly large role. Blood sugar fluctuations directly affect dopamine levels, the very chemical linked to attention and motivation. Regular balanced meals stabilize these hormones, preventing the mood swings that make concentration difficult. A breakfast rich in protein and fiber sets the tone for the day, while smaller snacks between meals keep energy steady without overstimulation. The most encouraging part of these nutritional changes is that they empower parents to take gentle, meaningful action. They shift the focus from discipline to support, from frustration to collaboration. The dinner table becomes a place of healing, not conflict. Children begin to feel better. And that sense of improvement fuels self confidence. This is the heart of natural ADHD support, nurturing the brain through nourishment instead of punishment, guiding rather than controlling, and using every meal as an opportunity to restore balance. Movement is one of the most effective natural ways to calm and focus a child with ADHD. Physical activity doesn't just burn off excess energy, it resets the brain. When children move, their bodies release endorphins and dopamine, the same neurotransmitters that medications often target. These chemicals elevate mood, sharpen focus, and help regulate impulses naturally. Exercise becomes less about discipline and more about balance. It gives the restless mind somewhere to land. Children with ADHD often think faster than they can act, their thoughts racing in every direction. Activities like swimming, cycling, or martial arts teach rhythm and coordination, helping the body and mind reconnect. The repetitive motion of pedaling, breathing through water, or following a sequence of movements grounds their attention. Parents often notice that after even 20 minutes of activity, homework time becomes easier and emotional outbursts become less frequent. The energy that once caused frustration turns into momentum. It's not about competition or intensity, it's about consistency. Regular movement, especially outdoors, strengthens more than muscles. It strengthens self control. Natural sunlight adds another benefit by boosting vitamin D and serotonin, both essential for emotional stability. A simple walk, a game of catch, or a backyard dance session can become daily therapy. Exercise also enhances sleep quality, which further supports growth, memory, and mood. Children who play, stretch, and move throughout the day fall asleep faster and wake more refreshed. In turn, that sleep gives the brain time to repair and reset, making the next day easier to navigate. Mindfulness offers something rare to children with ADHD: stillness without pressure. It doesn't ask them to stop being energetic or curious, it simply teaches them to notice. Through mindful breathing, visualization, or guided relaxation, a child learns to recognize what focus feels like, how thoughts come and go, and that emotions don't have to control their actions. Even a few minutes of mindfulness each day can reduce impulsivity, anxiety, and frustration while improving concentration and self awareness. Children often respond well to mindfulness because it feels safe and personal. It's not a lecture or a rule, it's an experience. Simple exercises like closing the eyes and paying attention to the sound of their own breathing can anchor a wandering mind. For younger children, breathing with a stuffed toy on their stomach or blowing bubbles slowly helps them visualize calm. For older kids, guided audio or meditation apps can transform stress into curiosity. The goal isn't silence, it's presence. Training the brain to stay here, in this moment, instead of racing ahead. Parents who practice alongside their children amplify the effect. When a parent models calm, the child's nervous system mirrors it. These quiet moments of shared breathing or gratitude before bedtime can become emotional reset buttons for the entire family. Over time, children begin to self regulate, recognizing when they're overwhelmed and using breathing or movement to restore control. Research continues to confirm what many families already know. Mindfulness changes the brain. It strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for attention and emotional regulation. With practice, children begin to find focus not through force, but through awareness. Sleep is one of the most underrated yet powerful natural remedies for ADHD. The brain of a child with ADHD works harder throughout the day, processing more sensory input and emotional noise than most. Without proper rest, this overactive brain becomes even more reactive, making focus, patience, and memory harder to maintain. Restorative sleep allows the nervous system to reset, recharging the brain's attention centers and emotional controls. Establishing a predictable bedtime routine is the key. Children thrive on rhythm. When bedtime happens at the same hour every night, the brain begins to associate those moments with calm. A warm bath, dim lights, and a short story can signal to the body that it's time to slow down. Reducing screen exposure an hour before bed is equally vital. The blue light from tablets and phones suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep, keeping the brain wired long after the device is turned off. For some children, incorporating soothing sounds like soft instrumental music or white noise helps quiet internal chatter. Others benefit from gentle stretches or deep breathing before bed, easing tension from the day. The goal isn't perfection but peace, creating a space where the child feels safe enough to rest. Parents often notice that consistent sleep transforms behavior more than expected. Morning routines become smoother, emotional regulation improves, and focus extends naturally into schoolwork and play. Sleep gives structure to energy, turning restlessness into resilience. When all these natural supports come together, nourishing foods, daily movement, mindful breathing, and consistent rest, something powerful begins to happen. The child who once felt out of sync with the world starts to find balance. Their energy, once scattered, becomes focused. Their emotions, once overwhelming, soften into calm expression. It's not about curing ADHD or changing who they are. It's about helping their unique brain function at its best. Every child deserves that chance. The chance to grow without shame, to learn without fear, and to live in rhythm with their own potential. These remedies work because they strengthen connection, the bond between body and brain, parent and child, chaos and calm. When a parent chooses to guide instead of control, to nurture instead of correct, they teach their child that they're not broken, they're different. And difference can be a source of strength. The structure of routine, the comfort of sleep, and the power of real food create a foundation where focus and peace can coexist. Families who apply these changes often notice more than improved attention. They see confidence blooming. Children start believing in themselves again. They make eye contact more often, express joy freely, and approach challenges with less frustration. This is the quiet victory of natural healing, growth that starts inside and radiates outward. ADHD doesn't define a child, it simply asks for a different kind of care, one that honors both their fire and their fragility. When we learn to feed their brain, move their body, and calm their spirit, we don't just manage ADHD, we help them thrive within it. In that balance lies not just better focus, but the foundation for a fulfilled, confident, and connected life.